My name's Alex. Started coming to Hoboken Grace just over a year and a half ago. I grew up in a Christian household. I'm very, very grateful that my parents created a foundation through Christ for our family. Going to college, my first 2 years, I went to a junior college locally. 2 years later, I transferred to a program in upstate New York. So that's my first time being away from home. I'm about a year and a half, 2 years into my career, and I was, I had a firm foundation of finances. So now I got freedom and I got the finances to fund it. That was the start of something bigger, I think, of kind of almost spiraling out of control. The pandemic strikes and, the world gets shut down. Growing up in a very almost transient, open door, loud, background in my parents' house to being always surrounded by teammates, and like now I had 3 roommates, and then now all of a sudden I'm left alone. Started drinking a lot. It's like I don't know. So I think it was like 5-6 nights a week maybe, and I had like a really bad night one night where I had too much, and I fell through our coffee table and shattered the glass. I started kind of experimenting with new things. And I've watched a lot of peers and friends do some of the heavier, harder drugs, and that they lived a normal life. And I thought, well, maybe I'll give that a go. Every weekend, as soon as I'd have a sip of alcohol, like that's all I was thinking about. As time goes on, it chips away at you physically and mentally. I didn't realize it, but I was starting to like really kind of crumble, instead of turning to God, who I knew, I knew he was there. I just tried to do things my way. And then my 30th birthday, it was like 3 or 4 nights of going out, and I have never felt so defeated in my life. I knew like chasing other things was never gonna satisfy, and I was so just like sad and broken. And I'm in my bedroom, my apartment, and it feels like the walls are just closing in. And I thought to myself, I have been so far from God. I've tried chasing everything that I could imagine, and it's not bringing me any fulfillment. And I sat there and I said, look, like, Jesus, I've accepted you as my savior, but I haven't been living like that. And I go, well, I need to find a community in a church. One of my friends from home who was living up here, he heard from his sister and his brother-in-law that they were attending Hoboken Grace. I walk in and there was like this wave of peace and like warmth and comfort that kind of just like hit me in the face. So I knew, I was like, well, I'm not coming to church and sit in the back. I'm watching the band. I'm like, these guys are fantastic. I'm like, I think I can manage. Being part of that team has been nothing short of incredible. I'm very, very grateful and happy that I'm able to give back in this fashion. The biggest piece of my walk is being part of a dinner group. That has been like my highlight every week. Monday nights, 8 o'clock. I'm like, I make sure that's a priority. That's like my favorite thing of the week. I'm like, it's not what bar I'm going to on the weekends anymore. I'm like, dude, I can't wait to go to dinner group. I encourage everyone, if you're not part of a dinner group, please join one. You'd be amazed as to what that can do. Just, talking and listening and just growing your faith. That is the sense of like the community that I've been like longing for. The past is the past. You can't change that, but the future it's like an open book.